Yeah, here we go, I'm TJ Quake, the ghetto gamer on this gaming thing.
Oh, the wonder! We are here, ladies and gentlemen! Once again, TJ Quake's Ghetto Gaming Pop Culture Talk! We right here in your face! In your face, like in your face! Because when I'm ready to do things, I'm ready to make things crack and let you guys know what I think about what's going on in pop culture talk, the pop culture world, you know, the news world, the gaming world, movie world. You know, I just talk about it all. And when I got something on my mind, I just got to let it out there and let you guys know what I think. I got to let you know what I think. Because I always come from a real, holistic point of view, from a simplified view. That's why I always call ghetto and everything, because it's just simplified. It's something that everybody can technically understand. So today we are going to get into Star Wars. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, here we are back again with Star Wars. Star Wars. The thing that made us all freaking big fans back from 1977. Remember that? May 25th, 1977, for all you old school fans out there. Because I'm old school. I'm from back in the day and everything. Okay, I was 7 when this daggum movie came out. And I saw it in the drive-in theater when my parents took us to the drive-in, and I was like in the seats like this. Oh yeah, it was pretty crazy. I was, as a kid, I was it was like a new world had opened up to me. A new life had opened up to me. And this is what happened to a lot of kids during that period of time in 1977, when they all first saw Star Wars for the first time. A movie that technically George Lucas had no idea that it was going to do what it did. I mean, the expectations for this movie was not good at first. The movie studios weren't really all that thrilled with this movie when George Lucas was first making it. He had very low budget. I mean, he had to really work around things, get around things. That's the reason why he had to create models and all this crazy stuff that he used in the movie. It wasn't all the green screen stuff, which made it probably that much more better, because it was the real deal. It looked real, you know? And so, I mean, George Lucas was ahead of his time when he made these movies, ladies and gentlemen, ahead of his time. And I'm here to let you guys know that I was a fan of what George Lucas made. And we're today talking about a particular new character than Obi-Wan, because we're going to be talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's right. The new Obi-Wan Kenobi is out and everything. And ladies and gentlemen, I've only looked at trailers, previews, sneak peeks, things of that nature. And some of it looked really cool. But then there was stuff of it kind of going, what's going on here? And of course, everybody already predicted when the leaks started coming out about Obi-Wan Kenobi on how the story was going to go. With it really Obi-Wan Kenobi taking a back seat in his own story to a black woman named Reva, who was an Inquisitor. She's one of the sisters, the Inquisitor sisters or whatever, and everything. And how basically they were going to make her look like she's the hero. But technically she starts off as the villain, but in the ending scenario, she's going to be the one that saves the day, not Obi-Wan. It's going to be this black woman named Reva that nobody knows about. Nobody's ever even heard about. When we knew about the Inquisitors, you never heard about Reva. When you saw the Rebels, remember the Rebels cartoon that introduced the Inquisitors? Yeah. There was no Reva in any of that. Oh, no, she just Disney decides to make this because they got to get woke. They always got to implement something that wasn't there in the first place. So now they're going to implement this girl, which is cool to do. Implement a new character, that's cool. But don't make her like she's the big boss now. She's going to be the one that's going to blow everybody away. She's better than the Grand Inquisitor. Okay, spoiler! If you guys haven't seen it yet, this is a spoiler. So if you don't want to hear the spoiler, you might want to turn away. Spoiler, Reva, okay? Reva, are you turned away yet? Are you ready? Reva kills the Inquisitor, the Grand Master. Now, everybody, first of all, there's two things to this that don't make sense. Okay? First of all, how the heck did she kill the Grand Inquisitor? How do you take out a guy who's it's almost like a master Jedi kind of guy? This guy's been around for a minute now, and she's just like a little sibling coming along and everything. You know, I'm gonna be good too. I'm gonna be bad, and she's supposed to know everything that the Grand Inquisitor and everybody else doesn't know. She knows where Obi-Wan is. So funny how Darth Vader doesn't. He didn't know. You know, the Grand Inquisitor, he really didn't know. And they're all saying that she's chasing a pipe dream. And she says, no, I know he's here. And she's always screaming and yelling and screaming. Oh, yes, ladies, there's a lot of this going on with the character, which is why a lot of people, when you watch the series, a lot of people don't like the character. The character. Not Moses Ingram, the girl, the woman, the actual, actress who's playing the role, which is what we're going to be getting to here in just a bit, because this is all going to go down to what we always know it goes down to, ladies and gentlemen. You don't like the character, then you're a racist. Oh, why are you racist? Because it happens to be a black woman that's playing the role. If it was a white woman, they couldn't use the racist card. So they purposely probably put her in this role so that they can use it as an excuse for their movie their TV series not going to be very taken in very well. Why? Because they knew that they were going to go against the lore of Star Wars. Things that, we should be focusing on, and things that didn't happen. First of all, when she kills the Grand Inquisitor, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys remember in the cartoons, when the Grand Inquisitor and all those guys showed up and so forth, Princess Leia, there were scenes where there's Princess Leia. You've seen Princess Leia coming on. Sometimes there was a couple of times when Princess Leia, the rebels actually got to speak with her because the rebellion was starting to come about and everything. Well, the Grand Inquisitor and all those guys were around. Well, guess what? Princess Leia is like, she's like in her teens right at this point, right? She's like, probably about, 17, 18 years old or something like that and everything. And so she's already running things and so forth. So she's obviously grown. Well, if you notice in the new show, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, I don't know if anybody else has recognized this and everything. Well, it focuses when Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker are just little kids. They're like, 7 years old and so forth, right? Little tots. And so they're little kids. They show little Luke. They show Princess Leia, which is another thing I'll get to, because they completely just skip over Luke Skywalker in the first 2 episodes. You don't even see Luke Skywalker. You see one time Luke Skywalker, he gets a little visual Luke Skywalker up on top of his little hut, acting like he's in a pod racer and everything. And then that was it. You didn't see him anymore. The rest of it's focused on Princess Leia when Obi-Wan Kenobi ends up having to go and rescue her because, somehow this trap was set up by Reva to capture Princess Leia, knowing that would bring Obi-Wan out to come and rescue her and everything. Yeah. That's kind of Jimmy Smith's character plays, Organa Solo. And he calls on Obi-Wan to come and help and rescue his little girl, Leia. So anyway, not to go so far into that, let's digress a bit and everything. So if they're still kids, how the frick does frickin' Reva frickin' kill the Grand Inquisitor in episode 2? I mean, this guy's supposed to be, he's more menacing, he's more raw, yet she freaking somehow manages to take him out. Oh, because she's the bestest ever. Everybody always talks about that shit. She's the bestest ever. Girl power. Yeah, the badass who's been freaking shown throughout all these, Rebel cartoons and so forth, who's freaking ridiculous. Oh, he gets taken out by a little, up and coming Inquisitor and everything. Also, she's like the super badass and everything, right? But the problem with this whole story, the story is not just the fact that she kills the guy. She kills the guy, and he's not supposed to be dead yet. Because if you watch the Rebel cartoons, if you know the lore, okay, ladies and gentlemen, Grand Inquisitor is still alive because Princess Leia is way older now. They show her in some scenes, and of course, then the Grand Inquisitor and all these other fools are going around hunting down the Jedi. So how the frick does he die in episode, episode 2 of freaking Obi-Wan Kenobi before Grand Inquisitor even gets to go out and start doing his thing. It's like stupid. It doesn't follow suit with shit and everything. Just dumb. Another thing was that she knew already where Princess Leia was. Okay, riddle me this one, Batman. How the heck does she already know where Batman is? I mean, Batman. Oh my gosh, wait! I gotta get ready to pull up the shit on some of this stuff because we got to get into this shit. I ain't gonna make it too long, because we're gonna have Reva, who's gonna be coming into the mix, and then I'll give you guys a quick little flavor here. So this is the girl we're talking about right here, Miss Reva. All right, this chick right here, and you see her with the red lightsaber in this other pic and everything. She's supposed to be badass. Now we're gonna get into what they're talking about with her in just a second and everything. Look at this, May 25th, 1977, Star Wars, ladies and gentlemen. This is how I was freaking 7 years old when this freaking shit came out and everything. It was May 25th. This is literally right before my birthday. My birthday is June 4th, 1969. Okay, this movie came out May 25th, 1977. I think it was either 6 or 7. I might have been 6 actually, and everything because I think I turned 6. That was 77. Oh, maybe no. I'm sorry, I was 7, going on 8. So, and you guys know, look at it. This is what we all know. This is what we all grew up loving and so forth. Remember this poster right here? Remember that shiz right there? Star Wars right here, man. Was this the shiz back in the day, ladies and gentlemen? Look at this shizzle. This mess is just, Star Wars. That was the original, like, Star Wars kind of like poster and so forth back in the day, right when it came out, dude. Saw Vader. You saw, who's this menacing dude right here? Who's these guys here, with the spaceships coming from this planet-looking station thing here? That's what you thought. You didn't know what it was yet. When this first hit, you didn't know. But yes, when you saw it as a little kid, me being 7 years old, I was engulfed into this shit. We used to play. Star Wars was so huge to us back then. We had Star Wars cards. When the action figures started coming out, we did trading cards. You had the blues, the reds, the whites, the greens, the blacks. I mean, these were ultimate cards, Star Wars trading cards. We used to do it all the time, man, and so forth. We were fans of this. We were kids growing up with this shit when it first originally hit. Now we got these daggum millennials today. Yeah. The SJWs of the world, the ones that don't know real history, the ones that are freaking so far outgone because these professors at their colleges are teaching them to hate our country. This is what we're dealing with now. There's racism everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Racist, and so forth. But back to what I was saying about, because I always follow up my point. What I was saying about Reva, Miss Moses Ingram's character, she knows where Princess Leia is. Now, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, riddle me this one, Batman, and everything. How the hell does she know where Princess Leia is and sets up a trap to go and get her captured so that Obi-Wan comes out of hiding to go and find her and to go and rescue her? How does she know? But Darth Vader and the Inquisitor, the Grandmaster Inquisitor guy, they don't know. How does Darth Vader not know then? How does she know? And if she knows, then you would think that would have been told to Vader? Or something like that? That, hey, I know where Leia is. She's on planet, such and such. It's like, I mean, I don't know how you put that together, but so they don't think about that shit. No, they don't think about that. That's not what they're thinking. We just want to put together some nonsensical shits. So there's two things that don't go together. Her killing the Grand Inquisitor before he's supposed to be really known during the Rebels and all that stuff, when he's hounding down the Jedi and so forth. He's gone now. He's dead. Through the gut, through the back, kills him. Like he wouldn't have sensed this chick coming up behind him and shit. Come on, dude. They overdo this chick. She screams and yells. Oh! She's got so much anger towards Obi-Wan Kenobi. Nobody knows why. Nobody understands her character, why she's so bent on jacking everybody. She's just ruthless throughout the entire thing. And it's just like overdone. You know? So that's the main thing that everybody was complaining about. Okay? The fact that the leak came out about her probably being the one that pretty much saves Luke Skywalker from being killed by her. Everything, you know what I'm saying? But, because Obi-Wan Kenobi went off and he's supposed to be watching Luke, but yet he goes off on all these other tangents and doing all this other stuff. They show one scene where Obi-Wan Kenobi goes and looks over freaking Luke Skywalker. That's it. You don't see Luke no more, but you get to see little Princess Leia throughout the whole freaking shit. She becomes the star. One of the stars. She's doing all these freaking things. She's evading people. Little kid evading these guys trying to capture her and stuff. She's getting around all of them. Obi-Wan Kenobi can't catch up to this little girl because she's Princess Leia and she's already super the bestest ever. It's just a bunch of crazy, stupid stuff that don't make sense, ladies and gentlemen. That's really what everybody complains about, and they're complaining about this Reva chick, this Reva Inquisitor, because they don't like the character, not because of what these idiots right over here are pretty much saying. Right here. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Star Wars statement tells fans don't choose to be racist after Moses Ingram receives hateful messages. Okay, what? So, because people are criticizing the character, they're saying that they're racist and that people are giving her bad, and there's probably a couple of bad actors in there. Granted, there's always somebody stupid out there that freaking goes overboard and says some stupid shit. But for the majority of the flow, she only picks like 4 of these ones that seem like they were racist comments, right? She picks only 4 of them, right? Where everybody else, including myself and everybody else that are Star Wars fans, are basically commenting on the character, how they didn't like it. Just like they didn't like Rose Tico. Nobody liked her character, and so forth. And then they try to say, oh, they're freaking going after the girl that plays Rose, and they're just bullying her online on her Instagram. What? Whatever, dude. It's part of the game. Personally, it's part of being an actor anyway. You got to take the good with the bad and everything. But these people wear their little feelings on their shoulders right here, and it's like, you touched it. It's ridiculous and laughable. Yes. So what I don't get, ladies and gentlemen, is how the fact that everybody's got to be racist every time somebody doesn't like a particular character's vibe. They go straight to the race card, and this is where, ladies and gentlemen, we knew that they were going to do this ahead of time. Want to know how we know they were going to do this? Because of this little thing right here. Right here. Here's Moses right here. Moses Ingram. This is the girl that plays Reva. Right here. And after endorsing, this is what the little article says, after endorsing calling all white people racist, Lucasfilm prepped actress Moses Ingram against racist backlash to Obi-Wan Kenobi character. So in other words, they prepped her ahead of time before the thing was even seen. Okay, nobody even seen it yet. Nobody knows anything about it. Nobody's watching it. They're already telling her, guess what? If anybody starts saying anything, anybody starts saying anything, they don't like the movie, they don't like what's going on, it's because you're black. Yeah. And because you're a black woman, that's double. Because now they don't like black people and they don't like women. They don't like strong black women. And that's why these are going to be racist people. So we're going to tell you right now, Moses, be prepared for it. And the reason why they prepared her for something like this, because they already knew that they were building a character that was going to be woke. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, they already knew this. So they needed some backup because they don't want to freaking take the writers don't want to freaking take responsibility for writing a weak character and not making this girl freaking probably a badass character that she could have been, more sinister, a little bit more secretive, a little bit more behind the scenes like Boba Fett was. Boba Fett didn't yell and scream and do all that shit. He had the most calm voice, but that motherfucker was sinister. You knew he meant business. Okay? You don't have to be the screaming, cow. Like, that's making you sinister. Darth Vader didn't do that. Darth Vader, I find your lack of faith disturbing, Commander. That was Darth Vader, dude. Very cool, very chill. Guess what? Darth Vader's voice was played by who? James Earl Jones, a black man. That's right, a black man. They always want to bring out the racist card and say there's not enough diversity. Really? We'll get into that. So, Ingram's revelation that Lucasfilm believes their Star Wars fan base is racist comes a little over a year after the company endorsed supporting calling all white people racist. So all the white fans, all the people that were watching this movie, these people keep forgetting that it was a white man that made the movie and everything, who had a lot of white people in the movie, but everybody's racist. My thing is, why are these people freaking fans of Star Wars? Why do you guys even bother with Star Wars and so forth? You guys call it racist anyway. You say there's no diversity in the movie, yet you guys all claim to want to be a part of Star Wars and so forth. Well, we want to be a part of it only if we can destroy it by doing something else different with it, by making it our own. We need to see ourselves in these characters. I didn't need to see myself in Star Wars, okay? It wasn't like I needed to see another black face in Star Wars to make me like the frickin' movie. I loved the movie when I was a little kid. Loved it. When Lando Calrissian and Billy D. Williams came into the flow, oh yeah, a black man. Nobody looked at the fact that he was black. Nobody was thinking, oh wow, there's a black guy in the movie. Oh my God, that's great. No, I just looked at Billy D. Williams as a character that was cool. He was suave. He was raw. He became a general. He was the leader of Cloud City. He was Rique Suave at the time. He was Mr. Smooth Daddy and everything, and slick and just cunning and so forth. That was Billy D. Williams, dude. He was freaking, everybody loved Billy D. Williams. Whether you was white, black, Mexican, whatever, you had a Billy D. Williams, Lando Calrissian action figure and so forth. Nobody said, oh my gosh, he's black. I'm not going to get that girl. No. I'm white. I don't get no black characters. No, we kids didn't think like that back then. It was part of Star Wars. There was no racial shiz coming up into the flow. But nowadays, that's what they all want to put. So you got this flip neck here on Twitter, right? Star Wars. We are proud to welcome Moses Ingram to the Star Wars family and excited for Reva's story to unfold. If anyone intends to make her feel in any way unwelcome, we have only one thing to say. We resist, you racist flipnecks. So I had to come on here, and a lot of other people came on here, and I had to come on here and I had to say my little piece because I'm sick and tired of these flipnecks. Because it's funny how they think every single person that doesn't like it's all white people. I was like, do you guys realize that's racist in itself? That it's all white racist people that hate her, that don't like the character. No, motherfucker, you forget about us black fans, Mexican fans, Asian fans, any other type of race fans. We didn't like the character either. What does that make us? Are we racist now? Am I racist against my own people? Because I don't want my people coming up and so forth? No! I didn't like the character. I don't like the way how she's being portrayed. I don't like the way you're destroying the lore of Star Wars and everything. That's what I don't like. You guys could have made this girl way more better and it would have been cool. I wouldn't have cared if she was a freaking white woman and you had her doing the same thing you got Reva doing. I would not have liked the character. The way you guys wrote her and everything. You guys keep forgetting that part and everything. So I came on here and I said, oh, here we go again. Okay, this is my little flow right here. See if I can zoom that in a little bit. Let's see, can we zoom this in? Yeah, here we go. So I come in here and I go, oh, here we go again. I'm a black man who is so sick of these idiots using my race of people as a way to divide the Star Wars fan base. Disney needs to give up on Star Wars because you SJWs will never ever truly understand what Star Wars is. Without the fans, there is no Star Wars. Do I need to repeat myself? Without us, the fans, there is no Star Wars. Star Wars was kept alive because of the old school fans like me and others like me. That's why Star Wars was able to keep going, because we were the ones that were always buying the product. We were the ones that were going to the conventions. We were the ones that are always going to the movies to watch these Star Wars movies. Oh, you millennials came along in about 10, 20, 15 years ago and decided you guys are going to start trying to jump into the mix. More so over the last 5 years, to be honest. You guys decided you guys are going to be trying to jump into the mix and everything and act like y'all Star Wars fans. You're not Star Wars fans. Because you're complaining about the way George Lucas made Star Wars. So how are you guys Star Wars fans? Kathleen Kennedy wants to freaking diversify and try to do all this crazy stuff, and she wants to overdo it with women power and everything. They don't even know what a woman is anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Because Star Wars, so the Force is female, freaking Kennedy says. Really? What's a female, Kennedy? Because you seem to be one of those Democrats that don't know what a woman is anymore. Yeah. That's for another story, ladies and gentlemen, another subject and everything. You got this guy up here, Dina Fox. What many of the people complaining don't understand is that if you as a white person, chooses to focus your criticism on a person of color, that's racism. How the frick is that racism? But you see the stupidity right here? If you as a white person choose to focus your criticism, okay, because we criticize, we're critics. White people can be critics, thank you, and everything. Focus your criticism on a person of color. So because the girl's colored, because we criticized it, this person says you're a racist. This is the stupidity that we're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we're dealing with. This kind of nonsense. It don't make no damn sense. If you then clear yourself from any responsibility of using writing or story, that's racism. Dude, that's what we're talking about, is the writing and the story. The writing of the story is not freaking making any sense. We don't like the way they wrote her. They could have did better. They could have made this girl way better. They could have made her a little bit more like freaking Mara Jade. Remember Mara Jade, how she was in the freaking, for any of you real people that are actually, Star Wars fans, because these SAWs, they probably know nothing about the Timothy Zahn books, right? The ones that the movies should have been made on. The new movies that came out, they should have been made off of the freaking Timothy Zahn Star Wars books. Those were, when I read those books, I was feeling like I was watching Star Wars. Although it brought me back and everything. Those books came out in like 1991, 92 or something like that. And everything. Heir to the Empire. With Admiral Thrawn. That's where they got Admiral Thrawn's character from, ladies and gentlemen, was from the Timothy Zahn books that came out back in 91 and so forth. The whole idea of Leia and Han Solo having kids, technically they had twins, a boy and a girl, actually, and so forth. It wasn't Ben Solo and everything. They had a boy and a girl, and one of them does go to the dark side. So I came back on here and I'm like, I'm black and I don't like Reva's character. Now what? I was 7 when Star Wars hit in 1977. I'm old school and I like the way George Lucas made it. All of us who grew up on Star Wars never tripped about the faces in the movie, at least not until you woke SJW came along. Lucas made Star Wars, you did it. That's my whole focus to most of these freaking idiots out here and everything, because they don't freaking get it. I don't know, somebody make a comment on this one. Let's see. I don't know, I don't see it on here. Looked like somebody made a comment on here or something like that. And everything. And then this flipneck right here comes in, this other flipneck, he wants to come in here and say this stupid shit. So he comes in here and before I read about this bullying, I tweeted this. The pic says it all. Okay, so he's going to say that the pic says it all. Okay, he's referring to this picture right here. Okay, it's a picture, ladies and gentlemen, for all y'all on the podcast, listening in on the podcast and everything, of Princess Leia getting ready to give orders right before the Empire is about to come on planet Hoth, the ice planet, She's giving instructions to all the the pilots and so forth on what they're going to need to do and how they're going to need to take out these daggum big ass AT-AT walkers and so forth. So if you notice in the picture, majority of the people in the picture pretty much are white guys, right? Because these people were English and everything. They were an English background, and I'm going to get to why people trip off of why there was so many white faces in Star Wars and everything. They had all these other creatures and so forth. So anyway, so he says rewatching and watching for the first time, okay, and watching for the first time the Star Wars movies. I'm at The Empire Strikes Back. These movies were really white. They had characters with elephant noses, but only white humans. When people complain about diversity in film, that is what they want to go back to. But that's not what we're talking about, you flip neck. And everything. Did you see Lando in this movie? Because Lando's in Empire Strikes Back, flip neck, and everything. There was other black characters that were pilots and more and more of the Star Wars movies that came along and so forth. But what George Lucas was focusing on was this movie was derived from World War II, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? So what Lucas was going off of, if you guys look at the Empire is the representation of freaking of the Nazis during World War II. They were the Nazi power. Hitler is motherfucking Darth Vader and so forth. Okay? Or the Emperor is Hitler. You know what I'm saying? Darth Vader is one of his grand SS generals, and so forth. Okay? So that's what he was focusing on. All this stuff was taken from World War II kind of theory and scenario. So during the World War II, the main people that fought in that war were mainly white people. Russians, the English in Britain, the Germans and everything, okay, and America. And of course, Italians and everything else. The majority of the people, the English were the first ones in the mix of this war because they were starting to get bombarded. America didn't join World War II till later. So England was up in the mix and they were needing the help of America. But so that's the reason why George Lucas focused on dudes from Britain as English kind of like actors. He wanted to recreate the vibe of what World War II was, what it looked like. In a Star Wars futuristic movie, though, okay, in a far. So that's what he used. He used that kind of vibe, ladies and gentlemen. So the majority of World War II, yes, there were black people in the war. There was many of us, the Tuskegee pilots, those guys. I mean, there was a lot of black people that were in it, but the majority was not black soldiers on the front lines most of the time. The majority was mainly white people fighting against other white people. It's pretty much the majority of it. I hate to freaking break it to you. That's just the way it was. So that's what George Lucas kind of brought his flow from. And he wanted to kind of reamp that kind of vibe, okay, of what World War II was like. So that's what he took from. He took from that, which is why you see majority of like the rebels being white guys and everything. Not to say that there wasn't any black guys, because later on you obviously start to see more and more black people and so forth in it. You know what I'm saying? Jedis like Mace Windu. Oh, but you don't want to talk about Mace Windu. Oh, no, talk about Mace Windu. It's Samuel L. Jackson. Blacker than blickety black. Okay, he was a freaking master Jedi. And one of the baddest freaking Jedis out there. And so forth. But they don't want to talk about him. Oh, they don't want to talk about Billy D. Williams. Lando Calrissian. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about in the recent Mandalorian with, Kyle Weathers being in it and playing a very prominent role in the Mandalorian Star Wars films. They don't want to talk about Finn, who was prominently in these new woke-ass Star Wars movies and everything. No, they don't want to talk about those guys and everything. And other black people's faces that showed up as pilots and this and that and some of these other Star Wars and the prequel movies and everything. The black guard general that protected Padme, Queen Annabella. He was her royal guard and so forth. Oh no, you guys want to talk about him and so forth. But you guys, but you got freaking Moses Ingram who freaking makes a statement out there saying, this is the first time that there's really been any diversity in Star Wars. And I represent that first ever done, ever has been done. I'm like, what? What the heck? But this is coming from a woman who knows nothing about Star Wars. Let's listen to her. Let's listen to what she had to say about Star Wars on one of these things. Here we go. Hey, let's go ahead and put her on real quick. And I promise you guys, I'm gonna wrap this up right now. After this, let's see here. So we got. I'm gonna go ahead and mute my mic, and we'll play her little part. Oh, I don't want to do that. Mute that.
These characters, I felt, has been sort of very satisfying.
You know, I wasn't a big fan of Star Wars before this. I knew like the cultural pinpoints, like
that's promising. That's great.
Like
that's always what you want to hear.
Vader, Luke, I am your father, Obi-Wan, those things. But I think what I've appreciated is the depth of the world that George Lucas built and the escapism it provides so many people and provides myself now. I've been very, very happy to join the universe.
Okay, so you heard it from her mouth, right from her mouth, right? She says, I wasn't a big fan of Star Wars. I didn't really know anything about the daggone thing. But hey, somebody gave me the part, and I was, hey, cool, okay, I got the part, cool. It's just a job for her, and so forth. I'll give you another piece of the interview where she's up there when she talks about that, how she came about being in Star Wars, and so forth. Let's go to that real quick. Go right here. Let's go right here. Let's see. Here we go.
Darth Vader, Lord of the Sith.
I am an Inquisitor. I would call myself the Inquisitor, actually.
Big-headed she's already getting. I would call myself the Inquisitor. Somebody who doesn't know anything about Star Wars. I guarantee you she's never watched any of the Rebels cartoon things by Tim Filoni. I bet you don't know anything about them. Somebody gave her a part in a movie, and she said, "Oh, it's Star Wars. It's that one big movie that guy George Lucas made." Oh, great, and everything. So forth. I'm the best Inquisitor. No, you're not. Everything, because the Grand Master Inquisitor was supposed to be the baddest one. Everything. You were one of the she plays one, but her character is somebody that nobody even knew about. She happened to be a youngling. She was a youngling. Her backstory is that she was a youngling, one of the younglings that Anakin here, okay, that you see right in front of me, when he was playing Anakin and he was becoming dark, he came in and killed all the little younglings in the Jedi Temple. Well, she happens to be one of the little younglings that supposedly escaped and everything. She got captured later on. They brought her up into the Inquisitor flow. She was raised up as the Inquisitor, and they trained her and so forth. This girl acts like, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Darth Vader, he was trained by the best, and that's the only way he became good. But Reva's character, she was never trained. She just became a badass. No, you were trained, Reva. Reva's character was trained. She was a youngling. She started off as a little starting Padawan, a little kid that was a Jedi, and she was growing up through the ranks of the temple to learn how to do what she does. And then the Inquisitors got a hold of her, and then they trained her more in their ways. That's what that's all about. So, you were trained still, girl. But this is the nonsense that you get from people like her. Let's see what else she's got to say here.
On her feet, someone who is always listening and intent on doing what she thinks is right, even if no one else agrees with what it is that she's doing.
There's also a lot of inner conflict, and there's certainly an inner sort of struggle of identity. I was living in Vancouver at the time. I was renting an apartment with a good friend of mine.
I said anything, actually. It was
that if I could be part of that, then I would want to do that.
I don't think I said anything, actually. It was like one intense, really long week of auditioning, and then we got to that final Zoom, and I thought I was gonna have to do something else, and Depp told me I had the job, and honestly, I think I probably was like, okay, thanks. I think that's how it went.
By the time
Okay. Thanks. Thank you. I think cool. Okay. I'm part of you guys. Okay. Yeah. So nobody has a problem with Moses Ingram. Nobody ever actually has a problem with any of the actors that play the role. The time when we start having problems with actors and so forth is when they start to freaking hate on the fan base and get mad because the fan base is telling the truth about something. You know? And so they want to, when we put our input about something, they get upset and think that we're attacking them. But we're not really attacking them. We're attacking the people who wrote the character and forced the character into a storyline that doesn't make sense. Sometimes they just force these things in there, and sometimes they do good jobs with stuff, and sometimes they don't. Mandalorian, a lot of people love Mandalorian, and so forth. And there was the diversity. Nobody had to freaking push. Oh, this first woman. Oh, the first woman. Look at Gina Carano. Oh my gosh, it's a woman. No, we all love Gina Carano. And then these motherfucking flipnicks like Kathleen Kennedy wanted to have her fired because of her politics. Yeah. So this is the kind of stupidity that you're dealing with Disney. They want to put all this woke bullshit into Star Wars that's our Star Wars. They just bought the daggum thing and decided, oh, we're going to turn it into what we think it should be, and so forth. What you guys are trying to turn it into will never be George Lucas's Star Wars, ever. I will never look at your guys' Star Wars as part of George Lucas's Star Wars. George Lucas was a genius when he came up with this. Him and the other guys came up with this storyline were geniuses. They knew what they did. They knew what they were putting together. For you flipnicks that don't like Star Wars and you're watching it for the first time, then don't bother watching it. Don't watch Star Wars. I find out there's nothing but white faces in there. Well, nobody asked you to watch Star Wars, dude. There was a lot of just white faces in the movies back in the 70s. It's like, yo, you complaining about all those movies? Are you complaining about those? Are you complaining about World War II movies? How come they don't show more black people in the World War II films fighting? Maybe because there wasn't that many black people fighting at the time. There were black people, and there's stories about that and so forth. But the majority, we're talking about the majority, like on D-Day, those kind of things and so forth. You had like a handful of black people in there and so forth. Some of them served on the like for instance on Pearl Harbor and everything. There was a brother who jumped up on one of the big guns during the fires on the ships and was up there just blazing away. Big story on that guy. They even made a movie on him and so forth. Yeah, they do make movies on some of these black heroes that were World War II veterans back in the day, and then Vietnam and so on and everything. World War II was during a time when it was still kind of the white man kind of thing and so forth. Yes, the black man was there. Yes, the black man fought in there, but the focus was still mainly white, the white men that were there and everything that were fighting these wars and so forth. It's just the way it was. That's just history, ladies and gentlemen. You can't try to change it. It is what it is and so forth. George Lucas made this movie in 1977. Yes, it appeals to a lot of white faces. Okay. But he was trying to recreate World War II in a space fantasy. That's what he was doing. For you people that don't know where he got his ideas and vibe from, that's where it's from. Steven Spielberg did the same thing with shit. So get over it. We never thought about these things back then, and eventually you did see black people's faces in these movies and so forth. George Lucas put them there. Made them prime characters. Lando Calrissian being one of the number one guys in the Star Wars franchise, in the old Star Wars. He was in Empire and Return of the Jedi. Played key roles in those movies. When you think of them, you think of Lando. You think of Lando, Leia, Luke, Han Solo, Chewbacca, C-3PO, and R2-D2, and of course, Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. Those are the main guys you think of when you think of Star Wars. When you go back to the old days of Star Wars, those are who you think of. And one of those people is Lando Calrissian. Billy D. Williams. And let's not forget the one and the almighty voice of all voices, James Earl Jones. That's right. The man who plays Darth Vader's voice. A black man who is the most recognized sinister voices of all time. A black man, James Earl Jones. But you guys don't talk about that. You say, oh no, it's just been racist. That's all it is. It's just white faces. But Darth Vader, in my personal opinion, was kind of like he was the black man and everything in the scene. So I don't know where you guys get all this stupidity from, but you guys need to give it a rest. You need to give it a rest with all this bullshit and everything. This, because it's never gonna look right with you guys. I'm sorry. This is what Star Wars used to be. This was the old Star Wars. This is what I remember as a kid. Everything. I remember this shit. This is where it was at. Star Wars. Look at this shit. Look at all this. You know what I'm saying? I remember this mess. This is what it was about. Darth Vader right here. I'm looking at, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, which I will give credit to the little girl that played Leia, little Leia. She looks just like what Leia would look like as a little kid. They really found a good actress for her. And she actually played the role good. I will give that. She actually played the role good as Princess Leia. You believe this little girl was Princess Leia. And so forth. And she looked like her. Everything. She looked like Carrie Fisher as a little kid. I love that. And so forth. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, this was Star Wars. This is what it was about. And now they're trying to destroy it. They're trying to turn it into something completely different. And you guys are forgetting they're making a TV series on Ahsoka being played by a black Puerto Rican woman. Look at Billy D. Williams over here. Billy D. Brought Billy D back for the next ones. I was the man. I was the dude everybody knew was Lando Calrissian. Look at him right there. And so forth. This was the brother right here. He was a general in this picture here. That's when he becomes a general. Lando Calrissian was the cool collective cat, dude. He was the raw one, dude. That's all there is to say. But yet there was no diversity though. There's no diversity. Whatever. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and end it on this note. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This is also TJ Quake's podcast. You can check it right here on Spreaker.com. I'll have the links down below for those who want to check out the podcast. Sometimes some of these shows are on a podcast only. And so we, like the TJ&MJ Spin Your Dollar, Save Your Dollar movie reviews. You can also catch some of that stuff right there on our podcast, right there on Spreaker.com. Basically, you just click on our, I'll put it on the website there, our website, where you'll be able to link right to the podcast when those shows are playing out there. Come in there, check it out. If you guys like what we heard today, subscribe. Give us a follow, whatever, all that craziness. We coming up here, we try to make things happen, and we tell it to you like it is. I give it to you how I feel, what I think, what my vibe is. I'm sick and tired of the racist bullshit, people. That's really comes down to. I'm tired of everything being called racist nowadays. We can't walk down the street without somebody saying racism. I really don't like that shirt. That shirt's kind of old, don't you think? He said, oh, you're a racist. You're a racist because I'm a black man wearing this shirt. No, I said I don't like the shirt. I just don't like the shirt. You're a racist. I'm sick of it, ladies and gentlemen. Can we get done with this bullshit? Star Wars, Disney, you guys are finished. You're done. I'm pretty much after this. I'm not going to watch any more Star Wars stuff from Disney. If Disney's got their hands on it, I'm done with it. I'm sick of what they're doing to Star Wars. I'm sick of it. I'm only going off of George Lucas's, and thank God that I have all the old school George Lucas films and Steven Spielberg films, all the old Star Wars and HD, quality flavor. I am so glad that George Lucas did those and reinvented those movies and played, but kind of updated them, made them look even more up to date and so forth. I got those and the very first old school ones. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to watch these freaking things. Don't give Disney your freaking money. Do not give them your money. These people are freaking evil and wicked. Disney's got all kinds of problems going on right now. pushing all this LGBTQ crap down little children's throats and so forth, trying to force children to put all this mess and sexuality into children cartoons. You guys are sick. And that's all I'm saying. You're sick. And you are of the devil, and you will reap the devil's consequences in the end. In the end, that's what you're going to reap. Sodom and Gomorrah, here we come. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's my flow on it. May the funk be with y'all. Boom. I'm TJ Quake. Yo, Ghetto Gamer. Peace to the Middle East.
Yeah, let's do this. TJ Quake, the Ghetto Gamer. Yeah. Here we go, yeah. I'm TJ Quake, the Ghetto Gamer, on this gaming thing. Gonna bang 'em up, gonna shoot 'em up, right here on the gaming string. Bang, bang, blaze 'em all up. TJ Quake, we're busting like 1, 2, 3, here we go.